We knew it was going to be the New England Patriots. Week 10. Sunday night football. Patriots, Ravens. Patriots, 3-5. Patriots, backs against the wall. Season on the line. In week number 10, facing maybe the best team they've played all season. Underdogs of 7.5 points. Facing the MVP. Facing the Ravens. Facing a team that blew them out. Playing a game where nobody gave them a chance. The New England Patriots come through with a 23-17 victory. Win over the Baltimore Ravens. Let's go, Patriots. 4-5 now with an opportunity. Just a little bit. You can see it. You can see the Patriots coming back, having a run, getting to the playoffs thanks to this win. And it's funny because last week, the crazy thing is, everyone actually looked at this team and wrote them off, not before the Jets game, but after they beat the Jets. And I looked at that game as, yes, it was close, but they built some confidence. And we know that Bill Belichick teams take time. They take time to find an identity. They take time to form. They take time to become what they are going to be. And this season, with a new quarterback, with a plethora of young players, a plethora of different players, opt-outs, losing Dante Hightower, not having Patrick Chung, not having Marcus Cannon, losing Stephon Gilmore to injury, losing Julian Edelman to injury, losing Sony Michel to injury. Everybody writing off the Patriots wide receiver core, tight end position, offense in general. Cam gets COVID. Cam's back from COVID. The defense, they can't stop the run. They're not good anymore. The good, left with Tom Brady. Tampa Bay. No. Patriots with a clutch win on Sunday Night Football tonight. And I want to come on here and just rant and rave about my team, because as this game began, I tweeted about this team. There is something about this team that does not allow me to give up on this team. There is something about this particular season that does not allow me to give up on the Patriots. I knew coming into the year that this was going to be a little rough. I did not expect them to be great. I did not expect them to be the former Patriots, the Super Bowl contending Patriots, but I knew that they would be a team that was competitive. And they went through a beginning of the season with such promise, where they dominated Miami. They dominated the Raiders, two teams that look like they're going to make the playoffs right now, pretty convincingly as well. They lose to the Seahawks on the 1-yard line. Okay? After that, Cameron Newton, the new quarterback of this team, gets COVID. So he's out for week 4 versus Kansas City in a game that the Patriots would have won if they did not have Brian Hoyer. It could have literally been most quarterbacks in the NFL, and they would have won that game. Regardless, they lose that game. it throws them a little off track. No big deal. They're 2-2. Okay? Denver, rough game. Looked like Cam overcoming the COVID issues. And we do learn in this game, the Patriots go as far as their offensive line can take them. As the offensive line was injured in that game and did not perform, therefore the Patriots lost a rough one. All right? They get shellacked. I was on the live stream, destroyed by the San Francisco 49ers. Like, utterly embarrassed, okay? They were ran all over. Cam was getting looked worse than ever. People were writing him off in the media. The Patriots, they're done. See you later, all right? Then they go to Buffalo. Cam plays really well. They lose on the last play of the game from an unfortunate fumble. But that game was a turning point because what did New England do in that game? They said, we know what we are on offense. We're going to run the rock. We're going to play action you a few times a game. We're not going to pass a lot. When we do, it's most likely going to be off play action. Okay? Defensively, we still can't stop the run, but we're figuring it out. Secondary's phenomenal, and we're playing without Stephon Gilmore. We shut down Josh Allen on one of the best pass attacks in the league. Last week, rough. Jets, sometimes weird games happen. They're still dealing with a lot of injuries, as are a lot of teams. Like, the defensive player of the year did not play in this game, and they won. Their best receiver did not play, and they won. So, there is so much heart for this team. And you have to credit it, I do believe, to the veterans of this team, the Devin McCourtys, right? Those guys. The Jason McCourtys. The J.C. Jacksons, the Jonathan Jones, the Lawrence guys, those guys on defense, even guys like John Simon. Offensively, Joe Tooney, David Andrews, those guys on offense creating the identity of the offense, Shaq Mason as well. They have maybe the best run blocking. I'm not even going to say bet. I'm not even going to say maybe. They have the best run blocking offensive line in football when it is fully intact from left to right. And we are going to see down the stretch when this team, we saw it tonight. We know in New England, as Teddy Bruschi said back in 2003, when you come to Foxborough, you know it's going to be cold. You know it's going to be snowing. Okay? In Foxborough, when you have to come to New England and you got to play Cam Newton, running the ball, stiff arming people to the dirt, running people over on the Baltimore Ravens. Guys, this is the Baltimore Ravens. This isn't some soft football team. This is a franchise. The Baltimore Ravens, who literally are made, their legacy, their identity is physicality. That is the Ravens brand. The Patriots out Baltimore. They out physicaled the most physical football team there is. And they smacked them directly in the face. Like, just boom. Right there. The Patriots, when you come to Foxborough in November and in December, you are going to be in for a game. Because it's going to be cold. It's going to be windy. It's going to rain. It's going to snow. And the Patriots just beat the team that can win that game better than anyone else. The Patriots now, I said, and people laughed at me, that if they can somehow beat the Ravens, they're in business. Because you look at their schedule, and there are a lot of winnable games. Okay? There are a lot of winnable games. We'll get to that in a bit. But a bit on this game. So what do we learn? I think this was the game, and I've seen this game a lot throughout my Patriot fandom. I've seen this game a lot. I see this game almost every year. Now, last year, we did not see this game, which is why New England lost in the wild card. But this team is not great, okay? Let's be honest. And what I mean by that is this team is not that talented. But what they have is Cam Newton, who, by the way, if you are not a fan of Cam Newton, I don't know how you can be a fan of any quarterback in the NFL. The guy literally represents what you want as a quarterback. And I'm not speaking from a player perspective because he's not the same player he was at his peak. He's still a good player. What I'm saying is Cam Newton, as they brought up on the broadcast on NBC at the beginning of the game in particular, he's the hardest working player in that locker room. He is a true leader in a different sense from Tom Brady. He creates he's a great example for anybody in any aspect of life on how to carry yourself as a leader. He has an individual relationship with Jacoby Myers, with Damian Harris, with N'Keal Harry, with Julian Edelman. This team took to Cam Newton immediately, and that's because of his aura, because of his personality, because the guy is a winner and the guy is a hard worker. And he is literally what Boston wants in their quarterback. He represents their city in that way. He's a comeback story. And I just think he perfectly fits the identity of what the Patriots want to be this season. And I hope they keep him moving forward because right now, Cam Newton is one of the best leaders in football. I don't care if the Patriots go 6-10. If you listen to what these players say about their quarterback, if you listen to what Belichick, who never praises anyone, says about Cam Newton, if you listen to what the media, in particular the people that cover him, interview him, say about Cam Newton, if you watch his press conferences, this is a guy that is just, I couldn't have asked for a better guy to root for after Tom Brady because he is a different player, a different leader, but a leader through and through and a guy that I want to cheer for. I always liked Cam, but I never realized the way that he approaches the position, and I'm sure he's matured over the years, but he's just become a great ambassador of Patriots football. And it's great to cheer for because this team is undermanned, right? And Cam Newton recently has not gotten enough credit for winning the game versus the Jets, for being competitive with Buffalo, because he was a large reason for that. Being competitive with Seattle. This team is not great around him. The offensive line is phenomenal. The receivers are not great. But the Patriots, they played to their strengths. What they do on offense, they ran the ball. On defense, they knew they have the secondary guys, even without Gilmore. We can handle this. And we knew that eventually in the second half, it was going to become a rainy weather game. And they were going to have to move the ball in a different way. And Belichick, okay, he didn't go out and he didn't trade for Aaron Donald. He didn't sign a pass rusher. He didn't do any of that. But if you've been watching the Patriots transactions as a Patriots fan, you would see, okay, we're bringing in this defensive lineman. We're bringing in this defensive lineman. We're bringing in this defensive lineman. They must have signed 4 or 5 nose tackles in the past 2 weeks because they realized if we got any chance of turning this around, we need to 1, run the ball, 2, stop the run, 3, be physical, and 4, not turn the ball over. Win the turnover battle. And they got some big dudes. I think you got to credit a guy like Carl Davis, who nobody knows, But he played nose tackle for them. Getting Lawrence Guy back was huge. Kyle Duggar with 12 tackles playing linebacker when he's a safety. Adrian Phillips, the Lamar killer they call him, from the Chargers to the Patriots with a big game as well. J.C. Jackson, I mean, forget it. Pay the man. 5 interceptions in 5 games in a row. There is no other corner doing that right now. I mean, the offensive line was phenomenal. Damian Harris was fantastic. This team's just got so much heart. And it's just like, yes, I know it's not the most talented Patriots team I've ever seen. But if this team makes a run, it's going to be one of the most fun runs ever because they just really don't appear to be very good. But they can do it because they're so unique. They're so unique. They literally gave the Chiefs a super tough game with Brian Hoyer. Like, they beat the Ravens. They beat the Raiders. They beat the Dolphins. They came one play away from beating Seattle. They give the best teams in the league very tough games because of how they are built. Now, they may lose some games that they shouldn't, but I think moving forward, this is a huge, huge game for the team's momentum, for the team's confidence, and for what we're going to see from New England moving forward. Because they found their identity in this game. They found what they want to be. They found who they are. And that's crucial to an NFL team. Some teams go a whole season without finding that. The Patriots have now found that in this game. And that is why I do believe that this team will not be out of the game for the rest of the season. They are going to give every team they play, which I'm going to pull up the schedule right now, a game. A competitive game. And I would not be shocked if they beat any team they play. And I'm not saying this for likes or dislikes. I'm not saying this for views. I'm not saying this for subscribers. The Patriots are going to be relevant down the stretch. They play the Texans next. They play the Cardinals. They play the Chargers and Rams. They play the Dolphins, Bills, and Jets. None of those teams are unbeatable. None of them. Okay? They could easily go on a run here where they only lose 1 or 2 games. And if that's the case, this team is 4-5. If they lose 3 games, okay, they're 8-8. If they lose 2, they're 9-7 and probably in the playoffs. So, if they find a way to get hot, if they play through their defense, maybe they get a little bit healthier. Maybe Stephon Gilmore comes back. Maybe Edelman comes back. He would be very nice to have because now you've kind of figured out who our receivers are. Like, Jacoby is our guy, and obviously if Edelman were back, it'd be Edelman and Myers. You can mix in Harry, you can mix in Bird, whoever you need to, but you can then, with Gilmore back, rely on that secondary. We've got big people now, so we're not so bad versus the run, and we can actually compete in that area of the game. We just played the Ravens, and we stood up tall. We played well. The game plan by Belichick was great. I thought, they weren't going to make every play just because of the talent, but they were there. They were there a lot of the time, and they made a lot of plays on defense tonight. And I know the Ravens have had their struggles, and I know some people say, oh, Ravens are overrated. Whatever, dude. This is a game where the Patriots, they got shellacked by this team last year. They were underdogs by 7.5 points. A full touch at home on Sunday Night Football. That's disrespectful. If this team was not the Patriots, and this team did not have Bill Belichick, Vegas would have made this team 14-point underdogs, not 7. The way that people were talking about this game was like they were gonna get wrecked. Like it was not gonna be a contest, okay? I'm just telling you, look out for this Patriots squad. Look out for them going forward because they got a chance. Because they got heart and they give a lot of matchup issues. A lot. Trust me. Patrick Mahomes doesn't want to see a 7-seed Patriots team. I promise you that. I promise you. He would rather play the Raiders in the wild card than the Patriots. I guarantee it. I don't think Ben Roethlisberger wants to see a Belichick defense. No, he doesn't. Lamar just lost to them. I don't think he wants to see this team. Okay? I don't think the AFC wants this team in the playoffs. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. Because if Cam gets hot, he could be as good as any quarterback in the league. And if this defense gets hot, we know how good they can be. And they're going to continue to gel. They're very young. They're going to get better. So, yes. Is this the best Patriots team of all time? No, not even close. It's one of the worst. But they are unique. And they, led by Cam Newton, by the example of Cam Newton, and by the best coaching staff in football, Josh McDaniels with another trick play to a former quarterback, have a chance versus anybody. Anybody, any Sunday. All right? What Mahomes throw for? You think he's not scared of the Patriots? He threw for like 100 yards versus the Patriots, and they stunk. The Chiefs should have got blown out. Period. End of story. Anyways, if you enjoyed this rant, this reaction, Gronk spike that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. I'm excited for the rest of the season. Again, guys, I don't care if they go 6-10. But I'm going to be cheering for this team to the end because they have earned it. They have earned it. They are fighting. They are trying to come back. This team did not quit. A lot of other teams would quit. A lot of people are saying, oh, Patriots should lose out and try to get a quarterback in the draft. Nah, they're not doing that. Patriots, they should get a top 10 pick. Nah. Not going to happen. They're 4-5. They just beat one of the top dogs in the AFC. And they're going to continue to beat teams. I'm going to say this. They were also underdogs for next week. I'm not sure what the line is right now, but Vegas felt they were so down on New England that they literally had the 2-win Texans favored over New England next week. I don't know how much that line's going to change after this result, but I'm just telling you, that is how down people were on this team. People writing them off. Don't write them off just yet. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. It's been Mitch. Appreciate you guys joining me here live, everybody reacting to the game. It was a fun game. I did not live stream it. I wasn't feeling it at the time. But I did say on the community tab, like, if it was an interesting game, that I would come here live and talk about it. And, of course, the win kind of gave me a burst of energy to come on here. So the bottom line is going to be fun. I guarantee that show is going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So if you want to check that show out, it is out tomorrow. And there'll be more Patriot reaction tomorrow, as well as other things. Thanks for watching. It's been Mitch. Peace.